Welcome in, family, and today we are going to be doing stretches for flexibility. You won't need any equipment today, just yourself. Let's go. You're going to find yourself in a comfortable seated position, and we're going to do the first pose, which is the seated side twist. Take that right arm and sweep it right over top of your head. We're going to hold that side for about 20 seconds. Good. Now bring that arm down and bring that left hand right over top of the side. We're stretching out that side body, taking deep breaths as we do so to open up our lungs and to stretch that lower back. Excellent work. Now we're going to go ahead and get into our next stretch, which is called the goal post. And when you see the pose, you're going to understand why we're calling it a goal post. We're taking a few seconds adjusting ourselves. And for 40 seconds, we are going to do these goalposts. I love this stretch because this stretch is amazing for your neck, your shoulders, and your lats, especially if you're feeling tension in between the two. So I do this all the time when I'm just sitting and watching TV. And so as you can see, we're just bringing our hands up and over and then bringing them down in the shape of a goalpost. Excellent work. We are done with that. Now we are about to go into our next exercise for strip flexibility, and that's going to be some shoulder rolls. As you can see, I needed to adjust, and that's perfectly okay because that one leg started to feel a little pain in it. So always remember to meet yourself where you are when you're stretching for flexibility. And we're going to roll our shoulders backward for 20 seconds. And then at that halfway point, we're just going to start rolling them forward, for symmetry. Good job. Now, I absolutely love this next exercise because it's excellent for shoulder pain. And I call this one the opposite waist touch and turn. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take that right hand and you're going to put it behind you as though you are touching the opposite hip. And then you're just going to turn your body in the direction that you're touching, right? So, you're going to turn your body in that left direction. Then you're going to release it after a few, and then you're going to take and do the same thing on the left side. This is amazing for releasing those tight muscles in the neck as well as the shoulder. Excellent work. Now we're going to get into a spinal twist, and a spinal twist is excellent for that low back. And so as you can see here, I'm just sweeping the hands up above the head, twisting to whichever side you choose to go to first. This side I'm twisting to the left, and we're holding that for 20 seconds. And then at the halfway point, we switch and we go to the other side for 20 seconds. This helps to release tight muscles in the low back. Excellent work. Now, the next stretch is one of my favorites, and that is the cat cow. Cat cow is one of those poses that can help you with that low back pain, even with headaches, and it allows you to stretch out that low back, the chest, the shoulders, and as you see, you just come into a tabletop and you arch your back upward like a cat, and then you release it down on a dip like a cow, and you're looking up, and it feels absolutely incredible, especially when you're having some pains in those areas. Great job. Now we're going to get into what's called is thread the needle. This is another exercise that is amazing for the shoulder stretches. You saw me shaking out my wrists just a bit there. So what you're going to do is come into a tabletop and take that. I'm taking my right hand and putting it up into the air, and then you're going to thread it through as though you were threading thread through the eye of the needle, hence the name, thread the needle. And you're going to stay on this side for 20 seconds. And then at that halfway point, we're going to switch sides. And you can take your hand and place it a little further out to get a little bit of a deeper stretch in the shoulder. Excellent work, excellent work. Come up, shake it out a little bit if you've got some stuff going on with the wrists. I know I do. And so now we're going to go into the next pose, which is called the upward dog. And it is very similar to cobra pose in yoga if you do yoga, but except for you are not keeping your body as low to the floor. And so all of that body weight is going to be on the hands and the wrists. And you do have the option to lift your entire body up off of the floor and allow the tops of your feet to be helping to hold your body, or you can keep your legs down like I have here. In either case, you're still going to get a good stretch. Excellent work, excellent work. Now, you're going to see me coming up here because right now my wrists are killing me. And I absolutely have pre-existing wrist issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over and I'm going to grab my yoga blocks, because my yoga blocks help to give me some support and help to relieve some of the pressure on the hands and the wrist. And if you're new to exercise, you might experience that, such as yoga, Pilates, and certain strength training. So go ahead and grab a set if you've got them. And we're going to get down into a downward dog pose. This pose is absolutely amazing for stretching out the shoulders, the lower back, the hips, the legs. Like, it is a total body stretch, and it is good for headache relief as well, believe it or not. And I'm just going to pedal out the legs for a little bit of a deeper stretch in those calves and those hamstrings and those quads. And then we're just going to get still and rest for the remainder of this. Excellent work. Bring your knees down to come out of the stretch. And we're going to go next into our next pose, which is a child's pose. Child's pose is amazing for stretching out the hips and the shoulders and the arms. And now keeping the extended arms out is going to get you that deep stretch. However, you do have the option to take your hands and bring them closer to your head, almost in a folded position, because sometimes that stretch can be a bit intense. So keep in mind that that is a modification if that stretch is too intense for you. This is excellent for stretching out the hips. Excellent work. Now that we are coming up out of that, we are going to get into what I call pigeon pose. This is another stretch that is absolutely amazing for stretching out the hips and increasing that flexibility and that mobility. Now, this pose can be a bit of an advanced pose, as you can see, because you're going to bring that front leg and bringing that left leg forward and leaving the back leg extended. And if you can't do this pose, it's okay. Just get back into your child's pose and just rest in child's pose. Always remember that child's pose is a safe pose. But as you can see, I used my block as a support to put underneath my hip because my left hip is not as strong as the right hip. So I'm using that as a support. And keep in mind, you can do that with a blanket, a pillow, anything that you can use and find close by. Excellent work. Now, after you come out of this pose, be sure to come out of it safely by raising that back foot and lifting your body up before you bring that folded leg back to straight. And we're going to go ahead and do this on the opposite side. And remember, take that front leg forward and we're going to fold it gently. And again, if you can't do this, just stay in child's pose because child's pose is the safe place. It is a safe pose. Now you can get a little fancy with it and grab that back leg and pull that up for more stretching, or you can lean forward and allow your head to touch the floor like I'm doing here. It all depends on where your flexibility is and how deep of a stretch you feel like you need in this pigeon pose. There are so many, different modifications for this pose. And if you can get there, that's fine. If you can't, feel free to stay right here or in child's pose. Lifting up to bring our leg out so that we come out of that pose safely. Next, we're going to get into a bridge pose. And a bridge pose is excellent for releasing muscles in that low back, releasing muscles in the hips. Excellent for glute growth, excellent for lower back strength and core strength. Like a bridge pose is an excellent pose overall. Very simple pose. Lie on the back, put those feet together and just lift your hips and glutes up. And you're going to be in this like 90-degree like ish angle. And you're just gonna hold. We're just gonna hold. Excellent work. Lower your hips slowly back down to the mat, and we are going to come into our final pose for this flexibility pose, which is the corpse pose. Allow your legs to just straighten out and extend. I like to extend my arms overhead because it gives me a deeper stretch, or you can just have them down by your side and you just lay here. It is one of the most calming, relaxing poses ever. Excellent work, and that brings our flexibility for mobility workout to a close. You did an amazing job. Feel free to come back to this after workouts, or if you want to just do this as a workout all by yourself, please feel free. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.